Okay, the reason I'm bringing this up again, lawyers must advise clients to avoid illegal acts and inform their actions violate the law is part of their duty of competence. Ethical obligations to uphold the legal system while bound by confidentiality. They must disclose information to prevent imminent death or substantial bodily harm. Duty to advise. Lawyers are expected to advise clients of legal consequences of their actions to steer them away from violations. Preventing crimes. If a client intends to commit a crime, especially one resulting in a serious harm or death, the lawyer must attempt to persuade the client to take appropriate action, and it may be required to report it. Past versus future crimes. Okay, but I'm being hit what I call a slap suit by the lawyer. The lawyer knows, well, he told him his client didn't inform him of all these irregularities within the apartment building that I live in. You know, water damage, electrical damage, structural damage, black mold, the front door needs to be replaced. It's warped. It's not holding back the elements. Different things. So the lawyer told me, the landlord doesn't have to do that. First, he's told me he wasn't told about that. Then I told him about that. And he said the landlord doesn't have to do it, which legally he does. But anyways, he told me he got his notification that I filed for an appearance, and I filed for a jury trial, and he told me I had to pay for it myself, which is disinformation. When I filed the appearance, I filed a waiver of fees for the appearance in the court, also for a jury trial, a 12-man jury trial. You can pick a judge and 6 jurors or a judge and 12 jurors. I picked 12 jurors. Better to be judged by 12 than hung by 1. Okay, so anyways, he's making a fraudulent and frivolous claim, which is illegal in the rule of professional conduct. Okay, that's disinformation. And so there's so many laws he's breaking, and him and his client working together to do this to me, him not advising his client of these illegal activities are illegal, breaking the law, and going ahead and trying to kick me out for expressing all these repairs that it needed, that's deprivation of rights. He's supposed to inform his client. That's ineffective assistance of counsel. Okay, so he said he's going to go ahead with this. He's going to do his best to see to it that I have to pay for the jurors, which I don't. Okay, but this is done in many courts. Oh, wait up. This has been done in many courts. So, let's see, is this it? Yeah, SLAPP suit. A SLAPP suit, a strategic lawsuit against public participation, is a merit legal action filed by corporations, and from my understanding, it's some type of corporation that owns this building, or individuals to silence activists or journalists by intimidating with legal costs. These lawsuits aim to exhaust resources, meaning money that you can't pay your lawyer, forcing defendants to stop speaking on matters of public concern, such as environmental protests or negative reviews. Online review. Business owner sues a customer for defamation after receiving a negative Yelp on Google review. Public posting. Zoning. Developer sues community members for protesting a new construction project at a city council meeting. Environmental activism. A corporation sues environmental activists for publishing reports about pollution. And that's violating the public trust doctrine, because they're supposed to make sure they're not polluting, and the government, everybody in the legal system, creating laws, making laws, enforcing laws, are supposed to abide by the public trust doctrine and make sure there's no pollution. Okay, so, if they knew that, they wouldn't have such a big deal about taking on these people. Journalism. A public official sues a local newspaper reporting on potential misconduct. That's a whistleblower complaint. He's whistleblowing, and stopping him, that's freedom of speech. No. So there's always all kinds of SLAPP suits. So if you look up what they're suing you for, they have to prove it in a court. But It's like a probable cause hearing in criminal court when it comes to other courts. So they have to establish what they're claiming, but they don't, and they can't. And they'll tell you, well, you got to get a lawyer. And since you don't know all these laws, and the lawyer, they're going to drag it out. It's going to cause a whole lot of, it's a lot of procrastination. Procrastination is forbidden in the rules of professional conduct. Okay. But I'm taking on this SLAPP suit myself. I don't have money because I'm old on SSDI. I don't get a lot of money, but I have the intelligence, and the gall to take these laws to court and use them against them. There's a problem with the reporter. I mean, not the reporter, the lawyer. He doesn't think I know what I know. Okay, let's see, because he said the landlord doesn't have, let's see, in Illinois, landlords are legally required to maintain safe, sanitary, and habitable living conditions, fixing issues like broken heating, plumbing, or structural defects. Tenants must report these issues in writing and are generally responsible for damages caused by their own negligence, not normal wear and tear. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do. We have a lot of problems with the plumbing, leaks everywhere, problems with the electric, the black mold, that's a health issue. The front door not, living up to its purpose, So he has, and the lawyer told me he doesn't. So that's disinformation. Okay, so when somebody files a SLAPP suit against you and they can't prove what they're saying, and just look up the laws, and, there's penalties that's disinformation. You know what the penalties for disinformation? You can't bring thoughts and prayers to a courtroom and think you're going to win. That happened with Lynn Wood and Sidney Powell. They brought some cases to court. Other lawyers, same cases, across 62 courts. And they all lost because the claims were frivolous and fraudulent. And that's against the law. That not only violated the oath, that was deprivation of rights, a conspiracy against rights under color of law against we the people. But see, if there was any integrity, any honesty in the legal system, I wouldn't be having to tell you this. But I'm just letting you know what I do and where I'm doing it. So that way you can have some idea how to deal with it. Save yourself some money. Like, I did it. I went to court, filed an appearance at the court, waiver of fees, not just for a court appearance, the jury. It's not the first time in other civil cases, I got sued. And, my dad got sued. I got his case thrown out using the rules and codes and using them against the lawyer when he called me. But see, that lawyer, listen to me, this lawyer, he just kept laughing. He thinks he's going to win this SLAPP suit. All right, so remember, if you have any questions, just leave me a message. I'll get back to you. But this has happened to a lot of people all around, not just Illinois, not just here in my beautiful neighborhood, Hickory Hills. I love these people, beautiful people, all around, always helpful, always pleasing. And they like to help me with everything. I'm in a wheelchair, But they're really nice and the greatest neighbors I ever had. And I'm old, and I've lived in a lot of different places. But they're turning Hickory Hills into this apartment. They're turning into these are slumlord habits. And the person that bought the building, they had the building before these people, told me she wasn't going to make no repairs, and I could sue her, but I won't get much because she got an LLC and they won't take everything, and she's not going to jail, and she'll possibly have to pay some fines. And so she just sold the building and said, you know, it was on the next owner. But legally, when the building exchanges hands, she's supposed to tell him all the inefficiencies in the building, and he's supposed to agree to fix all this stuff, and they're supposed to let the tenants know, and that's called disclosure. Okay, but nobody's abiding by the laws. So you think a lawyer thinks, oh, I'm a lawyer, I got a law degree, I know the judge. You know, this is my area of expertise, evicting people. Me and the judge, we went to the same school, or we're in the same fraternity, or, you know, we go to the same golf club, we eat at the same restaurants, we know the same people. You know? It's a society within a society, folks, okay? So, stop by Legal Reform. It's on Facebook, Unaccompanied Adult on TikTok and Instagram, a couple other places. I'm on YouTube. You know, all my videos, they're all around, but, you know, this is what I've been doing. I've been doing for a long time. It's public service to the people, my people, we the people I took a pledge of allegiance to. All right, people, have a good night. May your Creator always be with you. Rain many blessings. I wish you a long life and good health. Nothing but peace and love for you. Have a good night.